What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another MMA breakdown. You know, this is a live stream, and you know what I want to talk to you guys about? I'm going to turn down my light because it's a little too bright in my face. Everybody's talking about that TJ Dillashaw should fight Demetrious Johnson, right? Well, Demetrious Johnson, for example, even if he fights TJ, if DJ fights TJ and TJ misses the pound per pound weight limit for a title fight and DJ loses, he technically doesn't lose the title, right? Nah. They'll go, well, DJ didn't win the most significant victories of all time because he has that one victory that's lost. So he would be technically 10 wins in a row, 1 loss, and whatnot. So for me, I think what TJ is doing is going to be hard for him to make the 125-pound division because he's never fought at that weight division. He's never competed at that weight division. So how the hell does the UFC bank on it? A lot of people, even Ray Borg, saying maybe they should have him come down and see if he can even make the weight. It's like, remember when Anthony Pettis tried to make the weight at 145 pounds. His body shut down, so he has to go back to 145. 145 is in the weight class, so he has to go back to 155. And everybody's saying, well, Demetrious Johnson, he's fighting nobodies. This is going to be a fight that's going to draw him names. He's going to get a big payday. Yeah, it's possible. But why does it go, well, this is what TJ wants? No, it's what the champion wants. If Conor McGregor right now would say, I'm not fighting in the UFC, I'm just going to be fighting at the 170-pound division, Dana White would go, yeah, you are. You do what you want. And for me, that's so messed up because DJ and the 125-pound division, the reason why they get no love, no respect from the fans, no respect from Dana White, because there's really no drama at that weight class, right? But they don't market these dudes. I've never seen a commercial or really anything besides maybe a video blog with this guy on there, right? And the people who watch video blogs are not the casual fans. So casual fans are not going on YouTube and looking up video vlogs of their favorite fighters. They're not. They're looking at just a fight in general. They look at the countdown shows, maybe. But for myself, I think DJ is the baddest dude on the planet, and he has the right to say, I want to fight Ray Borg, okay? Borg is the guy who is ranked in that division. Why? And he's making it clear, why should a guy that's not even ranked in the 145-pound division actually get a title fight in the 125-pound division because he's ranked in the 135-pound division, okay? When you look at TJ, he looks very muscular and very slim at 135, okay? I'm not sure if he walks around like at 140, 145, but the dude, I don't really think can make 125. And a lot of analysts are saying this. Ariel Helwani, Luke Thomas of MMA Fighting, they're all saying this dude possibly can't even make the weight. So why are they going to force this fight? Is it because the UFC needs to hit their quota, make their money because they sold for $4 billion and now all they're doing left and right is trying to make the biggest fight they possibly can, and this is probably the biggest fight they possibly can make? I would rather see TJ fight Cody Garbrandt because there's some animosity between those guys because TJ was a former member of Alpha Male and he fights at 135 and they were on the Ultimate Fighter reality show. And just because Cody is injured, why can't they say, okay, the fight will be postponed for another 3 months? No, the fight is not going to happen, because what would happen if TJ wins the belt, okay? TJ wins, right? And what if TJ can't win, can't compete at that weight anymore? Like, he can't get down back to that weight because it was so hard of a weight cut. Is the UFC going to go, well, we got to make an interim title fight, and it's going to be DJ fighting whoever, and then DJ wins? They go, well, you're still a champion. No, that's stupid. TJ's on a 10-fight win streak. He wants to beat the record. Let the guy go 25 win streak, okay? Maybe he's not fighting the best pound-for-pound guys in the world. Maybe he's not the most entertaining motherfucker out there. Maybe he's not the most savage dude that out there. Maybe he's a company man. He's a nice guy. He drinks beers, plays video games, and that's all he does. He does not need to talk shit and back it up just to go. It's like Will Smith said, I don't need to cuss in my raps to sell records, but Eminem does. And right now, guys, it is raining here where I live out in Florida. But my main take on this whole fight is, would it be a great, entertaining fight? I definitely think, out of all the competition that's out there right now, I definitely think TJ Dillashaw versus Demetrious Johnson would be a hell of an entertaining fight. I would definitely watch it, okay? I would go for DJ over this fight, you know. TJ is a bigger guy, and that's the only time DJ's ever lost is against bigger guys in bigger weight classes, okay? He's only had, I think, like 2 losses in his MMA career. And he's trying to say, I want a payday, I want $1 million fight. Well, you might get, this might be the closest fight you're going to get. You might get $100,000, $200,000. I don't know what DJ makes, but it's really not that lot because he plays video games and people send him money, like they pay for a stream and whatnot. But the dude is for me the pound for pound best fighter in the world. DJ has come out and saying that he's done multiple like interviews, multiple commercials, multiple promotions, and the UFC's never used them. They're like, oh no, we don't need to use that. So they don't pay him pay-per-view points. Like Conor, when he wins, he gets a lot of the pay-per-view chunk of the money. And DJ doesn't. And I think what they're doing is, that's why they always put DJ on like Fox Sports 1 or whatnot on these fight cards that are not really big. And he only draws on pay-per-view maybe 100,000 people. And the reason is, the only people who know who he is are the hardcore fans. Not the casual fans who are casual MMA guys. Because casual MMA fans know maybe the John Joneses, the GSPs, the Conor McGregors, and the Ronda Rouseys. They know those people. They don't really know a lot of the fighters because they're casual fans. Just like a casual football fan. They watch playoffs and the Super Bowl, and that's the only reason they watch, because that's when it's the exciting time of the year. A lot of casual baseball fans will only watch the playoffs because that's when it's exciting to watch. So, for everybody complaining that DJ is not wanting to fight TJ, why should he? He's not even ranked in that division. Yes, it's going to be a great, entertaining fight. It's going to be a moneymaker. TJ is going to probably make a good, significant amount of money. The same thing with DJ. He's going to make a significant amount of money. But is it going to be worth it if DJ loses his title or loses the fight, even though TJ maybe came in at 126 or 127 because he technically couldn't meet the weight division? And for me, you got to think about this, guys. You got to think about this 1 second. He's never competed at this weight class. He hasn't been at this weight since his high school days. That's like saying he hasn't been at 125 for like the last 10 years of his life. And you're going to say this guy can make 125. Yeah, of course any fighter who gets a title fight is going to go, I want this fight. I want this fight. Is it a super fight? I wouldn't call it a super fight. I would say Demetrious Johnson is a averagely famous MMA fighter. TJ, he's averagely famous. They're not like super fights. They're not super fighters. They're not guys that would be on the news or down the street and everybody goes, oh my god, Demetrious Johnson. They're not those type of guys. When you say Conor McGregor, everybody goes, what's that dude up to? Who's he shit talking? Because they know he's who he is. It's like Ronda Rousey. They knew who she was because she was in television, movies, and she was on WWE wrestling, and she's been in MMA fights. When you look at Dillashaw, for example, and you look at Demetrious Johnson, they're not fighters that the casual fans care about because they're not shit talking, they're not trash talkers, they're company men, they're guys that go out there and they'll say, I'll fight anybody, anytime, anywhere. But because TJ is in a different weight class, that's basically a weight class above, a 135, why does it give him the right to go down to 125 and automatically get a title fight? It's like me saying I'll go to 125 and make the 125 pound weight limit. I probably could. I weighed myself at the gym today and I was 139, and I just need to start slimming down a little bit, stop eating a lot. So that's my thing. I work out a lot, as you guys can see right here. But if I was an actual MMA fighter, I'd probably be fighting at like 135, 125, just because I'm a 5'4" dude with a like a 66-inch reach. But overall, I think this whole thing is blown out of proportion, and I believe Demetrious Johnson now is standing up for himself, and a lot of fighters are standing up for themselves because the UFC is totally different. Robbie Lawler came out and said, the UFC has changed. It's not what it once was. And if you don't know what he's talking about, it used to be a ranking system. Number 2 would fight number 3. Number 4 would fight number 5. Number 6 would fight number 8. And so on and so forth. Number 1 would fight number 2. Now it's like anybody that they can get a big fight, they'll have the fight. You know, that's stupid. That's not what the sport is about. It's about having like number 1 versus number 2, not number 1 versus some clown who's coming from a different weight class. Okay, I could see if it was like champion versus a champion, then there might be more of a incentive to say, okay, this is a good fight. It's champion versus champion. But I don't see it as a great opportunity. I see it as just a quick money fight. They'll make like 300,000 pay-per-view buys, whatnot, whatever it be. But overall, I think this fight will not happen. I think unless they give him $1 million. I think it was Brendan Schaub came out and said, give this dude $1 million and then he'll fight. You know, you can give Conor $1 million, you can give the Nate Diaz $1 million, but you're not willing to give Demetrious a money fight. A lot of guys don't make a lot of money in the UFC. You see these guys, they complain that there's nothing after fighting because the money's not there. And it's fucked up when you think about it, guys. It's very fucked up because you go, well, there's a lot of money in MMA. Yeah, the Conor McGregors and the Anderson Silvas, but like the Demetrious Johnsons and these Ray Borg type characters, these guys, they're making like the same amount of money you make working at like Burger King, you working at Walmart. They're making minimum wage basically. They're like, I make $32,000 this year, and after taxes, I made like $25,000. And a lot of these guys are like, I still have to have a normal 9-to-5 job. I can't support my family off of this wage, and it's crazy because a lot of guys that are not big names, they're only making $2,000-3,000 per fight, and for the average person, you go, well, $3,000 is pretty decent. Well, that's not a lot when you only fight 3 times a year. That's only $9,000 the whole year. You go, oh, yeah, that's not a lot. But that's my whole take on it. I really think this fight would be a great fight, but I see why DJ is like, I don't want to take this fight. It's unnecessary. I don't need to take the fight. It's stupid because he wants to beat the record. Maybe if he goes and gets the 11th victory, he'll say, okay, I'll fight. But till then, shut the fuck up and stop bashing this guy. He's the best pound-for-pound guy. The UFC does not promote this guy. They do not even talk about him. They don't really say much about him. It's like, he's ranked number 1. He's better than Conor McGregor. He's better than Anderson Silva. He's better than John Jones. He's better than all these guys. He's so technical, and I think the reason why a lot of people don't realize how good he is, they like to see heavyweights with 1 or 2 punches knock each other out. You're looking at a guy like my size at 5'4" fighting, and you go, well, I don't want to see this guy running around. I'm like, the dude is freaking talented. But I guess the average casual MMA fan doesn't realize how talented he is when he's bouncing around, going back and forth, just fighting his ass off. He's a very technical guy, and I think a lot of people just don't know what his techniques are. They see him and they go, oh my God, he's bouncing around, he's off, he's going crazy. And they just don't respect the guy for his talent. And that's a sad situation, man, because I think he's one of the baddest dudes on the planet. I think he deserves all the respect he gets. It's funny because a lot of times in his Twitch live stream, fans will go, hey, how's it going fighting TJ? And they go, wait, what? What are you talking about? And they go, yeah, you didn't see the news that you're fighting TJ? And they go, nah. It's crazy because a lot of times his social media is where he hears he's going to fight whoever because the UFC doesn't contact him. I don't know if it's because he's a black dude. I don't really know because Tyron Woodley has come out recently and said the UFC is racist against black athletes. A lot of companies are racist against black athletes, and a lot of people have said that. Maybe that's a possibility because they don't give this guy respect. You know, when you see him on a fight card, it's always these like real crappy fight cards that have no names on it. It's not like it's going to be headlined by Demetrious Johnson, and then like the co-main event is like a Robbie Lawler and a John Fitch fight. It's not like that. It's like these weird, like watered down fights that could be like on Fight Pass and all that. That's really what they are. But I just think the dude's standing up for himself, and I think everybody should start standing up for themselves in the MMA world, in normal life. It's just messed up what they're doing to this guy, because it's weird when you have a guy who doesn't really say much starting to talk. He's like, nah, I'm sick of this shit. I want my payday. I want to make more money. I want to get paid. I want to be able to support my family. I want to be able to have a great life. And you're not allowing me to do that. You're just paying me garbage money. Maybe what he's getting paid, $80,000 per fight. Maybe that's not a lot to him. But for me, if I was getting $80,000 3 times a year, I would say that's a successful person right there. That's over $100,000 a year. And a lot of people in the fight game, that's just chump change. But to the average man, that's a lot of money, man. But should TJ fight DJ? I don't know, man. I think it would be a great fight. But I see what DJ is doing. He wants to compete in his weight class and defend his title and become the pound per pound best fighter ever, to beat Anderson Silva's record, to become the #1 guy with the best win record out of any champion. So that's my take on it, and I'm sticking to it, baby.